What's up, beautiful people? This is Christian from the Successful Spiritualpreneur podcast. And today I'm super excited because we have the one and only Queen of Kapow on the podcast. Her name is Liz Benny, and she embodies the philosophy of life is for living. So, with boundless energy, she kapows through each day, inspiring everyone around her with her magnetic personality. Her authentic approach is focused on positively impacting lives through her Kapow movement. Despite earning a master's degree with distinction in positive psychology, Liz initially struggled to find business success and was stuck in a soul draining job. Determined to live her dream, she set out on a new path. As a business and life transformation specialist, Liz helps entrepreneurs realize their full potential. Liz's superpower is closing the gap between dreams and achievements. Her signature Kapow pathway ensures success in all life areas. And as she says, there's no point in making millions if you're not happy in the process. Oh my God. How about that? Welcome to the show, Liz Benny.
I'm so excited to be here, dude. This is awesome.
Wow. It's incredible. Like, I'm just so honored to have people like yourself on the podcast because we literally are creating the new paradigm in what we want to experience and how we want to live it.
Yeah.
I think there's this concept of everything the outside needing to look good, but you're such a wonderful example of going and living from the inside out. So if you can just talk a little bit more about that and why that's so important and how people can start living like that.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so that was like 5 million questions in my gorgeously dyslexic, dyspraxic brain. So I'm going to answer in the way that I feel is the right way to answer right now. Quite literally, beautiful Christian and all the followers here, I quite literally just got back from nearly a month away with my amazing wife. We traveled all around Europe. We traveled like it was a luxury trip. We traveled business class. We had everyone looking after us. It was luxury. I met billionaires. I met homeless people. I met people from all different races, different belief systems, different sizes, different, modalities of modus operandi of how they wanted to live. And, I really had the experience now looking back and I went, oh my gosh, I created that. Not only did I create it, but here's the big thing for everyone listening and watching right now. I created it and I allowed myself to enjoy it. Because I think that that's the part that most people actually miss is that they go out there and they create these things. Because I've done that before. I've done millions and millions and millions of dollars and I've created quote unquote success and it's been amazing. But it felt like I was not allowed to enjoy the success because of some subconscious stuff that, was running my programming. So this time it was incredible, Christian, because for the first time I've done a lot of subconscious reprogramming. And it was really this gorgeous thing of like, oh wow, I not only did I go, but I allowed myself to enjoy it. I allowed myself to embrace it. I allowed myself to trust that the systems that I put in play in my business were going to not only allow my business to stay alive, but thrive in my absence. And it was truly exceptional. So that's the way that I wanted to kind of start this right now. It was incredible, absolutely incredible.
Wow, beautiful. And what would you say, as part of your business, what part of the system was it that you started changing that made the biggest difference in terms of you being able to just not be there so much anymore?
Um, Number one is growing myself as a leader, and actually trusting myself enough to put the right systems in place with my team that would then allow me to step away. So a lot of it was self-trust. A lot of it was self-love. Like, I am worthy of having a business that runs in my absence. I am worthy of allowing my team to look after me, and I'm worthy of receiving the love of my team and the support of my team in my absence from the day to day. So, one of those is internal systems within ourselves as leaders, because I think it's easy to go, what systems did you put in place in your business to help make sure that it ran? Well, I put the systems in place to make sure that, like, the systems that I put in place were the systems that were needed for things to be able to run on autopilot. Communication systems, like all of that sort of stuff, absolutely everything. So, we projected out before I left. We projected out, my team and I projected out. We said, what experience do I want to have whilst traveling? What experience does my wife want to have whilst traveling? The experience as it pertains to the business, by the way, because it's easy to go, well, I want to travel and I want to experience, taste food and all that sort of stuff. So that's easy. But being able to ask yourself, what experience do I want to have as it pertains to my business whilst I'm overseas? And that for me was complete trust, complete freedom, complete knowing, complete allowance. And then we put those systems into play to make sure that that was possible. We also asked ourselves, what experience do we want our clients to have in our absence as well? We wanted them to experience love. We wanted them to experience connection. We wanted them to experience transformation in my absence. And then we systemized for that. We systemized and optimized for the things that truly, deeply mattered. And I believe, amazing Christian, considering your business is called Love Pixel and you're putting the love back into people's businesses or into every pixel, I'm guessing that you understand this philosophy as well.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, at the end of the day, this is what it's all about,
Mm-hmm.
We're just all one infinite thread of love in the sweater of love, Like
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
we're all just fulfilling our role. And I think it's so cool how we all do it. So, we all do it our way. We all do it individually, and I think it's so interesting about what you shared, how so much it is about this internal, reprogramming, this internal allowing, this internal, even if it's just intention setting, which is like obviously the beginning and also very important, like, but that's where it starts. Like, if you don't set the intention, how do you think how anything is ever going to come to fruition?
Mm. And a lot of people are setting an intention as a hope and a dream with desperate energy, as opposed to healed, full belief energy of it is done, this is the way it is. And by the way, I say this as if I am, like my life is absolutely incredible and amazing now. And I'm very, 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 very grateful. But it's taken me a long time to be okay with being in a state of surrender, being in a state of allowance, being in a state of trust. And the more I've tried to control the process, the harder it has been, the more toxic it has been, the less I have allowed, I guess, genuine yum into my life. So there's been a turn from being a person who, and I think that the world is waking up in a lot of regards at the moment. I think there's a lot of people going, huh? Like, wait a minute.
Yeah, it's so true. I think like the entire world is really, and I think that's a lot of what we do here at Love Pixel too. Is like we bring the feminine back online. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
for hundreds of years, thousands of years, like all these systems have just been geared towards masculinity, progress, growth, push versus this softer, gentle energy
Mm-hmm.
that's coming online now, and not just online on the internet, but also on. I mean, you notice it, yes, of course, in the internet too. You see how all like funnels and web designs, just things just get more rounder, holistic. Like there's not as much scarcity tactics, and like yeah, of course, there's still sales and things like that, and but there's less of that. People have like a bigger bullshit radar of like what's going on,
Yeah.
and people like they just want to be in balance when they make a purchase or when they engage in a relationship or anything. So this beautiful like nature in the age of Aquarius and bringing back the feminine, I think is so present.
It's so funny because the more you resist that part too, and then you know, force things back into. 'Cause I've made millions through force, and I don't mean forcing others. I mean force energy within myself, and not allowing uh, Source, God, to be like with me through the journey. Whatever your belief system is, I want to be in full allowance of whether you believe in God, whether you believe in the universe, like what you know. It's really interesting that the more I've allowed myself to step into that, the more feminine, it's so much more peaceful and peaceful for me. And it's actually one of the things that we assist a lot of our clients in doing. It's interesting that you say this too, Christian, because I about an hour ago, I received a voice message from someone, and I quite literally said the words "ooh" after hearing. I said it verbally, like, and it was this toxic masculinity from a female, from a, so from a female leader in her business. And I just went ooh. And I'm really grateful that this person presented that, because it's, I can then decide who do I seek to be
Mhm.
in a, you know is that resonant with who I seek to be? No, it's not in any way, shape, or form. So I think that there's a lot of scramble. There's a cleanup going on at the moment, and those who seek to go into the slipstream, go into the flow, lead with love, lead with as you said, the bullshit meter. Like everyone's over scarcity, like fake scarcity, and all that sort of stuff. And the really cool thing is, it feels like people are starting to act with radical integrity. Finally.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, and
Mm.
it's so beautiful because like this is what we were created for, like we all carry this balance and just like divine masculine, divine feminine within us, right? And I
Mhm.
think really when I look at anything in life, like I look at what's the divine and feminine balance within coffee, within tea, within this food, within, like, is there too much salt, masculine, or is there too much water, feminine? You know what I'm saying? And usually, at least from my experience, like where these two essences are well balanced is where the sweet spot is.
I couldn't agree with you more. And then we get to then take that and go, because you and I, we walk out into this world with this knowing, right? With this belief system of balance, of masculine and feminine. There's nothing wrong with masculine. I think in a lot of regards, as humans, we tend to swing the pendulum and we overcorrect, and then there's a slight other overcorrection. So we've probably gone from overly masculine at times to then overly feminine. And now I think we're finding this time right now where even, the most buff, and I'm seeing a lot of this online right now. It's great. The most buff, toned, tattooed men are presenting their leadership in a markedly different way. And I happen to know this from, personal experience with a lot of the people that I'm connected to. As a result of not leading with such force, with such fight energy, with such, well, toxically masculine, if you want to, label it something, but I don't think labeling is the best idea here. They are erring on the side of their divinity, their divine feminine. They are leaning into their relationship with their God, their spirit, their universe, whatever that is. And you can feel it in their finances, their personal finances, their businesses are blowing up because it presents itself as I get to drop the guard. I get to, so for the buyer, it's coming through as, oh my gosh, I don't have to have all my stuff together to be able to buy from this person. I get to be and then become.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, it's beautiful. I think it's just another example of how we're just moving more into balance, and how balance is so healthy, not
Mm,
just for us as a collective, but for every individual. You know, and
mm,
I think ultimately, if you look at like women, like the divine feminine, like you guys have vision, and
mhm,
men, we're here to manifest that vision, to bring it to, like, we're the builders in a way, right? And
mhm,
not that you guys can't build, but it's like there's
mhm,
certain predispositions that we have. And I think it's beautiful when that exchange is witnessed in a relationship,
Mm.
whether that's a marriage or a business relationship or a business partnership.
Mm-hmm.
um yeah, I think the feeling of like when somebody can be in their essence, in their power, and we all have a different, obviously, energetic imprint, right? Like there's some
Mm-hmm.
women who are way more masculine, they also want to build, and like great, like do that. And then there's also men who just like want to receive a little bit more, So
Mm-hmm.
being in that space and being able to live in that balance with other beings, I think is such a wonderful exchange of
Mm.
energies, everything.
I completely agree. And, to this point, I'm in a same sex relationship. And I say that, like, I don't, I'm not a person. I say that for the purpose of actually what I'm about to say is the reason why I'm saying it is because even within my relationship, there have been times because it's very natural for someone. In my experience, a lot of people like to go, she's the man, she's the woman, because from a societal perspective it's more common for heterosexual relationships to be the commonplace, and from a scientific standpoint, of course, right, absolutely, of course. And then if we, in biological standpoint, it makes absolute sense for that to be the dominant modus operandi. And then if we look at it from the nature of my relationship standpoint, there have been times where, like, even within my relationship, we've had to find that ebb and flow of masculine and feminine energy. Because if I have to, for example, if I've had to feel like I'm denouncing some of my feminine energy, which is my connection to my creativity, and become too masculine, then that's put my wife into more of a, I guess, overly feminine. That and so there must be a balance within each person, and then a balance in the collective as well. So I guess that's a different way of making balance across all, balance in everything is so very important. And by the way, I'm Virgo. And my attachment to the egoic identity of Virgo has actually been quite destructive for me. And I've recently actually gotten rid of or become aware of how the attachment to the egoic requirement to be all or nothing has actually meant that it's robbed me of the gift of balance in key areas in life. And then I think that, to that point, along with that, we go, oh, someone could be ADHD, and like attachment to the egoic requirement to be ADHD then allows the person to be out of balance. And I think, I've been doing a lot of pondering on this in my beautiful cruise that I went on and all that sort of stuff. Like the ego robs us a lot of the time of the ability to live that balanced life, because it likes to go straight to fear, or straight to the money, or straight to these things that, like, throw the pendulum off in a way that takes us out of that state of flow.
Hmm. Beautiful.
Mm.
So, how can we make this a little bit more practical for people? Right? I think there's a lot of listeners that have questions in their mind about, well, you know, as you say, there's no point in making millions if you're not happy in the process. How can we
Yeah.
be happy in the process? What are
Oh,
that help?
what a brilliant question. So, everyone listening and watching right now, I'm about to give you a framework that will shift and change your life. Period. That's it, Marnan. And you can put your own spin on what it is that I'm about to say. So, I'm Liz Benny, and one of my identities is the Queen of Kapow. Now, Kapow is a word that came through me, gosh, 10, 15 years ago. And when I say came through me, I mean that I just started saying it. And then when I was saying it, I was like, pow, and then I noticed that people started smiling when I was saying it. I was like, oh my gosh, look, I say that word that was an expression of energy. It was an expression of power, kapower, right? So it was an expression. And then there was a fundamental shift in how they showed up. They would smile. I could sense the shift in their energy. I'm also an empath. So I saw that, and then I was like, well, I don't even know what's going on right now. So when I first started meaning I was present to the fact that something was shifting and changing, but I didn't make it mean anything necessarily. Then when I first began my very first online business, selling an online program called Social Monkey Business, Um, Within the Facebook group there, my community, I just started saying kapow, kapow, this is so kapow, this is kapow. And kapow was a descriptor. It was and I'm not very good at English. So it was a doing word, a being word, a having word. Like, we were kapowing. Something was kapow, and you are kapow, and we are kapow. So it was just this word that, again, and then I lifted the energy, and I started to see people saying kapow. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And one of my friends, Russell Brunson, was in that Facebook group as well. So because he was helping me launch the online program. And he was like, wow, people are really starting to say this Kapow thing. I'm like, yeah. So this is where the queen of Kapow kind of started coming from. Then one day someone said to me, no, one day I became present to the fact that I wasn't truly aware as to what Kapow meant, as in what was this Kapow energy? Because people can feel my energy. Like I'm exuding all this energy, and people could feel it. So, what was going on? So so one day I stood there. My wife and our youngest were away on a trip, and I was standing in front, and I knew that I needed space away from everyone, meaning energetic space. So I stood in front of my whiteboard with the whiteboard marker, and I said, right, what is Kapow? And I started, I closed my eyes, and I just let the answer come through me. And then I found myself writing the word connection. Like, I was like, what is the K? Connection. And I was like, okay, cool. And I just let it flow. And then the next word was authenticity. And then P was positivity. And then O was ownership. And then W was wealth. And I'm like, oh, well, this is incredible. This is amazing. So connection. And I was like, this is a pathway. This is amazing. Now, I'm going to cut a very long story short here, because we all grow and shift and change, and we need to be mindful to not become attached to certain things. So as I have grown and shifted and changed, and as people within the Kapow movement have grown and shifted and changed, I became present to the fact that authenticity didn't have how do you be authentic? Like, I mean, everyone started talking around this word authentic, and I was like, yeah, okay, cool. Liz, you're so authentic. I'm like, yeah, how do you be authentic? Just anyway. So I became present to the fact that A needed to change, and I also became present to the fact that the P needed to shift and change as well, because I was seeing a lot of what I would deem as toxic positivity out in the marketplace, and I didn't want to be the person, or I didn't want to be perceived as being a person that was saying, hey, just be positive and everything. Like, yes, vibration matters. Yes, positivity matters. And some of the time we need to actually face and heal from the childhood stuff or the trauma things that are literally holding us energetically hostage. Okay. So I didn't want to be the person that was like, just be positive and everything's going to be fine. So Kapow became a pathway where I assist people and entrepreneurs. And for those of you that are going, wow, this is like moving fast, please just hear this. Kapow is a framework that helps people connect. So connection, most of the, so Kate, it starts with connection. And you might go, well, Liz, we know that you're dyslexic. Obviously you can't spell, because connection starts with the C. Yes, my dear friend, a lot of the time we have to break societal rules that were put in place that don't work for us to have the true connection we seek. So Kapow connection starting with K in Kapow is representative of you needing to break through the things that don't work for you in society. Okay, so that's the first thing. So connection. Now, connection comes in 4 sources. One is connection to source. Second one is connection to yourself. You must connect from source to self. Next one is connection to the people in your immediate community, right? Because a lot of people can make a lot of money and then they suddenly become divorced because they don't have the connection with their spouse. They might be more connected with their customers, which is the 4th connection. They might be getting their ego filled from their customers, right? Oh, I feel so good. I feel so amazing. Oh, yeah, but I've forgotten about my wife. But it doesn't matter, because I feel so good. I feel so amazing. I'm connected with God. I'm connected with myself. I'm connected with my customers. But what about your people around you? Okay. So connection Is bar none the most important thing, Christian? Bar none is the most important thing. If you feel off in your business, if you feel off in your life, if you are not making the money you want, if you're not sensing the freedom, the peace, the alignment, the joy that you want, my first thing to help people with is, what are you connected to and what must you disconnect from in order to have more of the connection that you seek? So that's why K is so important. Then alignment is what the A became. Because once you are connected, you can then feel that you are aligned. You are being filled up in such a different way, right? And I can see your big, gorgeous smile there, Christian, now, because you're starting to feel this. Because and alignment feels way different from authenticity, which is this thing, feels like an act, whereas alignment is a state of being. Then P became purpose. Because when we step into, like, I think we've all had that experience where we wake up and we're like, oh. And that feeling of, oh, is when you're not doing something and being something that is bigger than just your current state of affairs, your current, I remember getting my house paid off at a very ridiculously young age. I'm like, well, now what? Like, I've achieved more than what most people achieve. Like, now what? And I found myself seeking higher, seeking something bigger, something greater. So this is K, which is connection. A, alignment. P is purpose, living into a purpose that is bigger than you. Living into something that is greater than you, that allows you to lean into faith, but also allay your fears because you're connected and you're aligned. And then O, my dear friend, is taking ownership. Ownership for the things that you need to do in order to unshackle yourself from the anchors that hold you back. Unshackle yourself from the fears, the subconscious, like you are programmed, we're all programmed in such a way from our younger years that we don't even know that we don't even know. And those things happened to you, AKA for you. And it did, like, bad things might have happened. And it's your responsibility to take ownership for doing the things that you need to do to unshackle yourself and also allow yourself to set free for the W, which is the wealth. And my dear friend, if you want more wealth in your life in the form of, yes, finances, and spiritual freedom and peace and abundance and joy and luxury and opulence, and it's literally just follow the Kapow pathway. Like, that's how to do it. And I used to think it was a pathway, as in a linear pathway, but then, Christian, I realized that it was a circle because you just keep on doing it. You keep on doing it. That, my dear friend, is the application. There we go.
Wow. Beautiful. I love this podcast so much because it is the intersection of spirituality and entrepreneurship.
Yep.
And I think you're such an incredible embodiment of that, you know?
Thank you very much.
And what I really love about spiritualpreneurs is that we bring this connection to source in our own way to the planet.
Yep.
And I think if you look at your the Kapow framework is such a great example of how you literally channeling, you know? It's like it's incredible. And I love it. And you can feel it. People can feel
Yeah.
it, you know?
Yeah.
Energy is contagious and
Yeah.
there's so much in that word. And yeah, just Kapow. You know, I just
Oh,
makes you want to say
seriously.
it.
It blows my mind. And then, like, I've gone from working through this and working through the framework and helping people with the framework, and it's been absolutely truly sensational. And what a gift for it to have come to me. Like, I didn't suddenly go, I'm going to start creating this. I'm just going to start saying, like, because Kapow makes people think of Batman and Robin. And, like, I remember watching that when I was young. I loved it. But I didn't suddenly go, what would be a really cool, catchy word for me to say? Because some people say boom, and I'm like, well, I didn't try to pick a word that was going to manipulate the market to make people want me or like me or remember me. But I get people sending me Kapow stuff all the time now. It's amazing. It's like, oh, I saw Kapow, thought of you. Saw Kapow, thought of you. I'm like, yay, that's cool. It's amazing. And it's turned into, keynote speaking. It's turned into amazing things where I actually help people, step into their Kapower. Would you like to know an extension of Kapow? Can I tell you that now?
Absolutely.
Perfect. Cool. So here's the really, really, really cool thing is that it's all very well and good to say, KAPOW, but a lot of people can feel my energy, right? So they hear me say, "Hey, Kapow, my name is Liz Benny," and they hear me say, and they see my hands flicking like this, and someone who is uber like spiritual, they said, that you're like zapping people with energy, right? I'm like, oh well, I've got a lot of it, so I might as well, like, meaning they were saying you're flinging your energy around, you're lighting people up. I'm like, look, if that's my purpose, to help light people up, then that's a pretty freaking damn good life. Like, yes, I sign up for more of that. So then I've done keynote speaking now where I've helped people step more into their Kapower. So it's still KAPOW. And then the E then becomes, right, the E is allowing you to step into your energy, raise your vibration. Like, a lot of people want this, but they're not actually looking after their body, their vessel, their ability to be this out there in the marketplace, out there in the world. So E is making sure that you are looking after your body, your physical body, in the most amazing way, removing it from toxins, removing it from doing the resets, getting your supplements done, looking after your vessel in the most incredible, amazing way, in alignment with what you need, in alignment with your truth. And I will say something here. I think a lot of the time, entrepreneurs, like, they get on these hacking bandwagons. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to go do this thing. I'm going to do this water fast. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this thing that I saw on the Diary of a CEO. Like, I'm going to do these things without first actually going, yes, but what is true and right and real for you? So to that point, I did not realize I had chronic pain for, a year and a half in my lower back. And the chronic pain was in direct alignment with a massive vitamin B12 deficiency. I was so vitamin B12 deficient, I had no idea. I had no idea that my body, because I was displaying as a perfectly healthy person, but I'd been to the physiotherapist, I'd been to the chiropractor, I've been to all these people to help me externally. But then from an internal standpoint, my body did not have all of the nutrients that it needed. And so my point here is, look at your energy from an individual body standpoint. What does your body need support-wise in order for you to live at optimal health? My wife and my bodies are very different in terms of how they operate. I love fasting. I perform better with less food in my body. She needs more nibbles throughout the day. She's absolutely different to me. I haven't eaten yet today, and I feel I'm way more clear in my thought when I do that. And I actually do it naturally, so I don't actually do intermittent fasting. I just eat when my body tells me to eat. And the R, my dear friend, the R, to live with way more power. In this day and age, in this time of awakening, in this time of waking up, in this time of, like, we could, I could say the word Trump and it might take your body to a certain place. I could say the word or the name Biden and it could take your body to a certain place. And you could feel all these certain things, and you can go into what that means for you personally, and your mom and your dad and your company and your ability to be you, right? So if we think, like, the one word or one name can shift and change everything if you are not resilient. For you to live your truth, you must breed resilience against the forces that could easily sideswipe you. And this is as easy as scrolling on Facebook. Are you being all of yourself whilst you are scrolling on Facebook? Because you are quite literally, like, watch what your energy does, watch what your happiness does, watch what your anxiety does when you are doing certain activities. Because if you are losing your connection to yourself, it is toxic to your soul's expression.
Aho, truth to that. I love that. It's so wonderful. And I think the thing out of all these um, 7 letters that stand out the most is the connection to self.
Mm-hmm.
If we're able to foster that with ourselves and, connection to selves kind of like results in purity, purifying of energy, clarity. I feel there's so much shifts and adjustment that automatically happen just because we connect more with ourselves. Who are we actually? Like we never, or maybe we asked that question when we were younger, but we never really explored it. So go ask yourself who you really, why did you come, like, and who do you, yeah, what do you bring? Who are you? Because you're here for a reason.
Mhm.
And we all came with our unique self that we have only explored to a fraction. And once we do that, I think everything else comes from that, you know?
Mhm. Mhm.
So thank you so much. That was such an incredible exploration. We're coming towards the end of the podcast, and I would love for you to leave us with any wisdom, insights, more kapower, more wonderful. And I mean, it's just something is like simmering here that just wants,
Good.
yeah, and something just wants to, yeah, be shared, be, yeah, share from the abundance, share from the wealth, share from the joy. And yeah.
So I just want to say one of the biggest things that a lot of people don't allow themselves to do. So this is my final kind of thing here, and I know that a lot of people listening and watching this right now, I will have rubbed some people up the wrong way, and they're like, who does she think she is? How is she allowed to show up like that?" And then for a lot of other people, they will be like, "Oh my gosh, like something just fundamentally shifted in my soul," and wow, just wow. Now, irrespective of how you have received this information, uh, all I want to say to you is please take these parting words. It's okay for you to live life on your terms. It's okay for you to be happy. It's okay for you to feel deep love. It's okay for you to feel deep peace. It's okay for you to express the truth of yourself, A, to yourself, B, to your family around you, and C, out into the marketplace. Life truly is so incredibly short. And there are one of the books that I read many, many, many years ago, and I've reread it quite a few times, is Elizabeth Kubler-Ross's On Death and Dying. And when you look at some of the top regrets of the dying, I just want to say to you right now, you don't have to worry about so much because, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years when you're on your deathbed, relative to how old you are and how long you're going to live, you probably are not worrying at that point in time about the things that you're worrying about right now. So I would love for you to step into allowing yourself to express yourself and live at the vibration and allowance level that allows you to step into such a state of bliss, a state of peace, because you get to live at a different level. And just because yesterday might have been a hard day, and just because the last years were a certain way for you, does not mean that, because you can literally divorce. You can divorce energetically, spiritually, emotionally from that which is not for you anymore and never was for you. And many years ago now, I found myself stating this exact phrase, and this is what I will leave you with right now. I divorce the drama. And I found myself saying those words, I divorce the drama, because I was feeling that there was so much drama in my life and it was in my immediate world, around me. Drama with clients, drama at drama with health, and I'm like, I divorce the drama, including the drama that I create in my own mind about what the drama is. And that created such freedom to step into a new version of becoming. I'll leave you with that.
Wow. Powerful words. Thank you so much, Liz Benny, the Queen of Kapow. It was an
You're
honor
very
to have
welcome.
you on. And this will this will be forever in the ether. Thank you so much for sharing all your wisdom, all your energy, all your incredibly wise words with us. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you so much for inviting me on. It's been a true honor. Thank you.